is that we love farming because we're passionate about our livestock. Now we need to keep our livestock healthy and productive. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 important things you need to know about sheep drenching. Number 1 is the equipment that we use. Number 2, the chemicals that I use and why. Number 3, how to work out the correct dosage for your flock. Number 4, I'll show you a couple of the techniques that we use and have used over the years that may help you. And finally 5, we'll discuss why you should assess your sheep at the same time as you drench. All this to keep your flock healthy and productive. So number 1, the equipment that I use. I've got a 5-litre backpack, makes life a lot easier when you're drenching sheep, especially in the race. Okay, I buy my chemicals in 10-litre tubs or 20-litre tubs, so it's easy for me to mix up 5 litres, put it into a backpack, and away I go. The second item, of course, is the applicator itself. You need an applicator with the right range, holds the right amount of chemical for your flock, and you want the end part of the applicator, little nozzle. You want to be able to rotate that to a nice angle, depending whether you're left-handed or right-handed, and your kind of position when you drench the sheep. Okay, now it's very important with the applicator, guys, is to wash it out every time you do a drench. Okay, you don't want to leave the drenching chemical in this applicator. It'll clog up all the springs, the nozzle, etc., and you won't be able to use it. And these are fairly expensive. Look after it, give it a nice clean after every time you drench the sheep, and it'll last you a long time. Also, I recommend having some type of stock marker on hand, especially depending on how you drench your sheep. Might be in a race. You might be in the race with the sheep, or you might be in a weigh crate. Okay, super quick to do. You dot the sheep on the back of the head, or the shoulder blade, or the bum, to say that you've done that sheep, that you don't double handle. But more importantly though, is to make sure you don't miss any sheep. If the sheep are allowed to move up and down a race and change their positions, you'll fast lose track of what sheep you've done. So give them a little dot so you know where you're at. This makes life that little bit easier. It can be stressful to race. Chemicals I use for drenching, I use the Vetmec Dual and also Vetmec LV with plus selenium. Now they both come in the 10-litre tubs. These are designed to be mixed together, so I mix a litre of each for my 5-litre backpack, and that does my flock of about 100 sheep here. I choose these chemicals for Vetmec because it's the least intrusive on the soil life, like the dung beetles and the other microorganisms. So I don't like to eradicate those little guys from the paddocks, because it all helps in the bigger picture for better pastures and healthier soil. So the Vetmec Dual and Vetmec LV mixed together, they're synergistic, they're designed to work together. They cover a broad spectrum of worms. They cover you if you don't know what worm you're targeting. 3, how we work out the dosage is that of each of the containers, no matter what you buy, the container you buy is going to have a table or come with a booklet, and it's going to show you what dosage is recommended. So in this particular case from Vetmec, 1 ml per 10 kilo. That's for both the Dual and the LV. I mix them together to get the 2 ml per 10 kilo. Okay, so my sheep here, you always look towards the heaviest sheep in your flock, and that's what you want to dose to. Okay, you don't worry about overdosing the drench to the sheep that are slightly under the weight, or under average or average weight. You want to make sure you don't miss out in drenching them. You want to drench to your heaviest sheep. Okay, don't worry about over drenching. You need to worry about under drenching. You don't want to create tolerance for the worms that they might have. So by not giving the sheep enough drench, you won't kill the worms in their system completely, and they'll grow tolerance to that particular chemical. It's always best to work for your heavier sheep. Mark out your dosage for your heavier sheep in the flock, and then give that same dosage to the whole flock. That's a very important point. To work out the dosage, if you have a weight crate, you can then easily, or handle it with a weight crate, you can weigh each sheep that goes into the crate, then you can give them the exact dosage for their weight. Okay, most of us, we don't have a weight crate, so we eyeball the largest sheep, and we know roughly an adult ewe, 55-60 kilo, going into pregnancy can be slightly more. I'll work on the basis of my largest ewe, and then give the whole flock the same dosage. Very important that we don't let the worms get tolerant of the chemicals that we use. Okay, I've got my backpack at the moment, just hanging on my weight crate, or just hanging on the crate. I don't need it to be on my shoulder if I'm doing it over a crate. The first technique, if you have a handler, why not use it? Restrict the sheep. They can't jump out, they can't move, they can't turn around. Just makes that life a little bit easier if you can lock them in somehow. Okay, so I've got my drench gun. Okay, we want to go into the side of the mouth. We don't want to come through the front. We want to come through the side of the mouth, get over their tongue, and then gently squeeze the drench down their throat. We don't need to jam this all the way down to the stomach. We just need to go in a bit to get over their tongue. Fantastic. Side of the mouth, just gently squeeze down. Okay, pretty quick. All done. Next one in. Okay. Side of the mouth, gently squeeze. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, so this second technique is just drenching your sheep in the race. Okay, so I've got a few sheep in the race here, not completely full, but okay. So you can either come in over the top of the race and to drench the sheep, or you can jump in the race. I'm going to grab him under the chin so we can control his head. Even better if you can squeeze him onto the side. As you see, there's enough room in here that they want to swim around and they try and get out. Sheep don't like getting drenched. Easy way to control them, one hand just under the chin. Okay, control the head. Then we can lean over the top, come in the side of the mouth, and drench them like that. Nice and easy. Okay. Now I'll get my spray marker, seen that in a race, and I'll dot the green, and there we go. Okay, so what we do in the race now, we want to get into the back of the race, okay, with all the sheep in front of us. Now we go through one by one, starting from the first one at you, and as we drench them, we'll push them behind us. Okay. So all we do, so the aim of the game here, what we're aiming to do here, is again, use your left hand to press the sheep. You can either use your knees and your thighs to push the sheep against the side. You want to hold this sheep against the side, you use your body, and then grab their head. You can't move too much, and down it goes. Okay, it's a fairly big sheep. Then once we're done, easy, just put your hand in front of their face and they'll just move backwards. Okay, and then we push up. Then we push up with the rest of them. Okay, again, you can either use your legs to push the sheep into the mob ahead of you. So we're aiming to restrict their movement so we can easily administer the drench nice and calm. Okay, looking behind you, grab the next one, we'll push against the race, pin the sheep against the side of the race, lift their head up with your left hand and just come in the side and just slowly pour that drench down their mouth. Okay. Even with the bigger sheep like this girl here, really big, but most importantly, it's on a pinner. We just want to pin her against the side of the race. It makes life easier when you're in the race with them. You don't get your hurt knees, you know, got no sheep jumping at you. I've got all the sheep pushed up one end and easily controlled. Now I can lift up her head. She can't move forward, she can't come towards me. I've got it pinned against the rail, and now we just slip the drench in the side and gently administer the drench. Nice and calm. If you want, you got the second sheep, or it's already pinned. Okay, we can just do a second one. Nice and easy, nice and quick. Now we can just release two sheep together, and away we go. Now we walk up to the next one in line, and we make our way all the way down to the race. Yeah, just nice and easy. Well, I've got two heads here, I'll just pop two up. Nice in the side of the mouth, and then down we go. Nice and easy, and we just let them all go. I was going to show you another technique for drenching sheep, just within a race. And if you don't want to be in the race by yourself or do a solo, then you can get a partner, a friend or a neighbour or whatnot just to help you. I've got my lovely wifey. So the aim of the game is just as we drench the sheep, as we did in the race technique, as we flick the sheep behind us, we've just got the person behind the drencher just protecting that the sheep don't run back into the drencher. You don't want a pair of hooves on your back. It doesn't feel too good. So that's what the job is behind the drench. So we'll go through, we'll just do a couple, and you can have a look. Just push behind, start off, you go down, behind it, you get behind the person to protect the drencher. Okay, as we go, the more sheep we get behind us, inherently sheep are pretty flighty animals, so any sound, any dog, any person coming up from behind the race, the sheep will instantly want to come back to the front of the race, and they will jump on you, and it's not pleasant. As we get through, of course, as we get the sheep towards the end of the race, we want to do that last couple of sheep packed up against the front gate of that race, so there's no room to move for the sheep. Easier to do a couple of sheep at the end all together than just single by itself. So just keep that in mind. Just make life a little bit easy for yourself in the race. But as you can see, just having that partner in the race come through just helps the drencher. We know there's no sheep coming back at me. They're going to want to scour my back or jump into my back, just that safety point of view. So again, it's a great technique if you're not confident of getting into the race by yourself. Finally, we need to assess your sheep. We need to assess our sheep when we drench them. It's so important we do this. Okay, we're assessing for injuries on the sheep, any cuts, any broken legs that they may have had or come in from the paddock. We want to assess their teeth, especially in an aging mob. So make sure they got ear tags still on them as well, identification tags. In the warmer months, especially after a rain event, and more so if you have sheep or thicker hair sheep, we want to check for fly strike as well. Fly strike can be on the back of the shoulders predominantly, or at the back just near the tail on the rump. So we just want to give each sheep a look over, just assess the condition of the sheep. Okay, we want every sheep that comes through our crate here and even down our race that we drench, we want to make sure that they're healthy in all their aspects. You want to check their hooves as well. You can trim hooves, or there might be cracked hooves. In the wetter months, if you live on especially in the wetter months, if your property receives a lot of water, or a lot of water sits on top of the surface, the hooves of the sheep aren't designed to sit in water all day. Okay, so they can get foot rot. So you want to check their hooves, especially in the wetter months. Again, just one of those things that we just want to check while the sheep are in here. and she's all good, so we'll let her out. Okay, so with this guy here, we've identified he's got a symptom, so he's just starting to get a bottle jaw just on the bottom of his jaw here. So it's that little lump just here. So that's definitely a symptom of the Barber poleworm. So he's only one or two of these guys in our flock. If you notice a bump starting to form on the bottom of their chin, it's definitely a physical symptom of that your sheep, that your flock has worm pressure. Okay, so we've drenched this guy, he's all good to go now. There are a couple of sheep in the flock with some runny noses, which is also a symptom of worm pressure. We've done the entire flock, so they're all good now for the next couple of months. Now over the next couple of weeks, we'll monitor these sheep. If you were doing manure samples, what you do after 2 weeks after the drench on the day, you take another set of samples, send them to your lab, and there should be 0 worm pressure within 2 weeks. So drenches do take a couple of weeks to be fully effective. So what we'll do now with this mob, put them into the fresh paddock for 2 weeks, let them get all their manure out with all the worm eggs and all the worms, whatnot. Then after the 2 weeks, we'll move them to another fresh paddock, and that also just kills them against worms or worming pressure per se. So that's what we'll do today, and next couple of months they'll be right, and then we'll come check them in another couple of months. But it's very important just to keep monitoring your sheep, just for any telltale signs, like I just showed you before with that bottle jaw. You definitely see a bottle jaw, even just one in your mob, you want to drench the whole mob, because chances are they've all got that same worm.